instead of having a flashy, glossy um, stadium, I think it should be the quite the opposite of that.
It should. I agree. Anyway, we're talking about football. Good morning, Iram. Thank
Good,
you for joining
good
us.
morning.
Assalamu alaikum.
Good
Um,
morning. Walaikum salam. I don't want to talk about football, mind.
all right. Why? We love it. Anyway, so thanks for joining and as our special guest. And I was talking, ranting, raving about the awesome campaign and the Become Awesome program that you are helping spearhead. And thank you for coming on. So, some people may not know, I'll be very surprised, but it's always helpful and useful for you to introduce yourself, obviously, as a leading entrepreneur and awesome campaign leader as well. Let's kick off with who you are, what you do, and why you do it, please.
Thank you. Yes. So, first of all, thank you very much for having me on the show. So, my name's Irim Ali. I've got a few titles. I'm an elected councillor in the West End of Newcastle. I'm also a cabinet member for Newcastle City Council, and I head the communities portfolio, which includes community safety. And I'm also a solicitor by profession. Now, I was involved, or well, I was picked actually by ABC as one of the awesome women um, back in, when was it? 2019?
Five
I
years
can't even
ago.
remember.
Five
Yeah, it
years.
was about 5 years ago. Yeah, and Baroness Wiracy came and she came to Newcastle and she gave, there was I think 10 women
Yeah.
that title. And since then, I think we've tried to do a few things, but then the pandemic came in the way, and then life got in the way, and different things happened. But once I was given that title, I really wanted to do something with it. And I've been a counsellor now for 16 years, and all year round we door knock and we talk to our residents. And one of the things, I think post pandemic, one of the things that was quite apparent is how many people have either lost their business or have set up a business for various different reasons. I've set up my own business, and that experience it was brilliant, but I realized how much I didn't know and how much I had to learn. So through that journey, and using ABC as a platform, I think the collaboration between the two sort of ideas is to support Asian women in enterprising and provide the tools to help well, Asian women, enable them to become entrepreneurs. And regardless of what the idea is, whether it's a really small idea or a massive idea, it's to support women along the way. So that's who I am, and that's what I do, and hopefully I'll be able to do more as an awesome woman.
Brilliant. I mean, Jeff, just picking up on Iram's point there around knowledge, know-how, advice. As an entrepreneur, how important has it been, and when did you realize the importance of actually getting the right advice?
Um, I think it's a development, isn't it? I have to say that networking on my has been such a big thing, and I'm not just saying this. I've said this many times before over the years. I think when you can get into, I mean, ABC as a kind of organization, when we were doing networking events back in the day, and you get to meet, Stephen Savage, for example, the leader of the council, and other individuals where you can have discussions with, that you may never. I mean, if you were trying to make an appointment with certain individuals, you could probably never get into the diaries, never meet their PAs, never get to meet them, but you could meet them at an event, and they actually talk a little bit more, and they give you help and support and information. So I think sponging information from intelligent people, I think that is so important for all business people, because that's what gives you the guidance, and it builds your mindset, and your framework in business kind of does evolve by um, advice that you get from other successful people. You've got the specialists that are out there that you can ring, accountants and ring solicitors, but sometimes the informal advice, the informal connections, I feel that's really, really significantly important.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. And actually, I think what Iram's sort of leading on here is, Iram is a community leader, is a successful entrepreneur, and those lived experiences have helped inform the program to become awesome. And awesome itself is Asian women enterprising. So it's not about every single Asian woman who wants to start a business or telling them they have to start a business. It's just to help Asian women generally. And I think the point that you make around peer networks and networking is important, Jeff. But what Iram and the program's talking about is a structured. Here's the things you don't know. Here's how to find them out. Here's the support available. So you've got an idea, and how do you take that idea and develop a business model, a business plan? How do you do your marketing activities? How do you do your customer segments? What tools are there? What techniques are there? How do you sell online? Because everyone's sort of keen to do it, and everyone watches things, and you watch a YouTube video, but what do you truly know about demographics, about keywords, about different platforms, about search engine optimization, about all of these things? What do you really know? And actually, yeah, of course you can find out bits, but it's just like everyone can become a plumber, but really you realize that it's a plumber who has the competence and the confidence to come and fix these things. So how do you learn things properly in a structured way? So Iram, your ambition for the program is?
For lots more Asian women enterprising in the Northeast region.
Yeah, it is. It is, and I mean, it's a pilot that we're doing. The reason why Iram's sort of leading on this and deciding it's a pilot is because it's being done in partnership with a British business bank. We're picking up with other stakeholders and partners from across specialist services as well. So people who've been there, done it, people who are responsible for it as well. We at the SME Centre of Excellence in ABC have huge, vast experience in programs, but we want to do something quite unique and exciting with Iram here in supporting Asian women in particular. So, what are the cultural considerations? And if so, what for some of them? What are the religious considerations as well? And how do you factor those things in? And actually um, recognizing the influences of that, and equally the broader commitments to family, and how do you juggle dropping the kids off? How do you juggle balancing whatever you do as well? And it's a matter of fact that women generally take on the heavy caring role and heavier caring role regardless. That's a matter of fact. I'm not speaking out of turn. Um, and and how do we support that so that they're able to fit in this unique and exciting opportunity? So the program's starting in a couple of weeks. There
It
is
is, yeah.
an
And
indicative date,
and
isn't there?
just
There's
pick,
an indicative date.
yeah, there is. And I'm just picking up on your point there, Amar. I think because I've all my work in life has been the 9 to 5 office type jobs that I've had. And it wasn't until 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. And family were on in Pakistan. They were chilling at a wedding. I was here. I couldn't get the time off. And I remember sitting there and just thinking, like, there's got to be a better, I'm done with this 9 to 5. I'm never enjoying myself because of dates. And my whole family, everyone in my family, whenever something gets arranged, will be like, oh, Niniana, she's not going to be able to come because there'll be counsel or there'll be a client or there'll be this and that. And it was so frustrating. And I was thinking that, I'm really done with this 9 to 5, but I absolutely love my job. And I did make that decision. It was such a huge leap for me because, when you've worked that long from 9 to 5, you just robotically just turn up, do your job, and go. So I did. I just on the spot, I resigned, put my resignation, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to do it. And on that day, I rang my other half in Pakistan. I said, I'm going to do this, and he went, if that's what you want to do it. So I typed up the resignation. I handed it in. I gave my notice in. I left within a month. And then I took a month off. And that month that I took off, I was introduced to the life, the whole social media concept of the advertising and promotion. It's a totally different world. And I set up my website myself. I did lots of social media stuff. I learned how to navigate Instagram and TikTok and all of that. It was all so new to me back then, 2 years ago. And away I went. I managed to get a really good local office. And honestly, I've got so much autonomy in my business. I decide my working hours. I can work from home. I can do all of those things. And it's so empowering more than anything else.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, like you've said, culturally, religiously, there are commitments that we all make, whether it's your family, whether it's your faith, whatever it is. And all of that is really time consuming. But how do you juggle all of that alongside, wanting to work? And I think it truly is the best decision that I've ever made in my life was to, start up my own business. And I would recommend it to anybody who wants that kind of financial freedom and not be shackled to a desk 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. It's brilliant.
Yeah, well done. Well, thank you for sharing. We've run out of time. I'm always conscious we're going to get cut off any second. It's not just for anybody who hasn't got a business. It's also for those who have and just want to see how they can
Absolutely.
improve their business, Irim,
Yeah.
isn't it? Is what
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
it is.
And it's open to all Asian women. That it is limited to a number because there's only so many that so I imagine demand is going to be outstripped
Yeah.
from supply. But I'm excited, and thank you so much for taking the charge on this. We're going to get the rest of the awesome team supporting you as well. So tap into their skills, experience, expertise, as well as ABC and the broader partners here that we have. So thank you, Irim, for joining us. We're going to get you back
Very
on to
welcome.
give us an update on what we're
Excellent.
talking about and how we're doing it. But until next week, it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me. Thank you, Aaron. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Take care.